Be careful. The path gets close to the edge of the ravine, and I don't think it was meant for wagons." Manning stopped for a moment while the horses kept going, allowing for slack in the rope connecting him to the wagon. "Keep moving, Manning," Kellen shouted. Manning took another step, then looped around one of the tree stumps on the side of the trail, halting their movement. Manning started yelling at the horses, who bolted forward, pulling the rope taut again. "He just snapped his zip tie, and he's trying to cut the rope with something," Tess said. Which meant the only thing keeping them from going over the edge was the rope Kellen had secured around the man's wrists. "Manning?" Kellen reached for his weapon as the horses reared in front of them. The front wheel of the wagon slipped over the edge of the ridge, while all the supplies they'd packed in the back of the wagon shifted toward the edge, along with the dead body. If he didn't calm down the horses, they were all going over. "Kellen!" "Hang on, Tess." Kellen fought to control the horses, but they were too agitated. Another jolt knocked Tess from her seat and over the edge of the wagon. Her feet scrambled to find solid ground at the steep edge of the ravine. She managed to grab onto a metal rail of the wagon. But how much longer was she going to be able to hold on? "Still feeling in control, Deputy?" Manning shouted. The rope wrapped around the fat stump was keeping the wagon from going over. But if Manning managed to cut the rope, then they'd no longer be anchored to the stump. "Grab my hand, Tess." Kellen leaned over as far as he could. If he moved to the other side of the bench, where it was easier to reach her, his weight could tip the wagon over the edge. "I can't let go, or I'll fall." He glanced down the steep ravine to his right. The slope was steeper than the one they'd fallen down. Rocks fell off the side as the wagon wheel slipped another couple of inches. "You thought you could outsmart me, didn't you? But in another few seconds you're going over the side. Judging from the angle and depth of that ravine, I'm pretty sure you won't survive the fall." "Manning!" "Begging doesn't look good on you, Deputy." Anger shot through Kellen, but there wasn't time to react. He had to get to Tess before she fell, and he had to do it without tipping the wagon over. "Kellen, I can't hold on." "Yes, you can. Just a few more seconds." They hadn't survived the past 48 hours to have things end this way. The wagon slid another inch toward the edge of the cliff, but he managed to grab Tess's hand. "Hang on, Tess. Just a little longer. You can do this. I've got you." He pulled with all his strength while she tried to get her feet back on the floor of the wagon. But there wasn't time. A gunshot sliced through the air as Tess's fingers slipped from Kellen's.